afternoon, and welcome to Laurel Park. Thank you for joining us here on Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. Our friends at Fidelity First, they stopped by yesterday and brought us some very nice new big mugs. So thank you to them. They're nice, right?
Get a
You
little
can see them a little bit.
hot coffee in there. Get us going for the day.
We need some hot coffee or some hot cocoa or something. It's a little blustery here today, so bear with us. But Stan, I don't think I have enough hairspray to keep my hair down today. The wind is whipping around. But the day after a fantastic fall festival of racing yesterday, of course, headlined by the DeFrancis Dash and Ivana Falanovalot getting the victory easily.
Yeah, the Texas bred coming into town. He was the first horse here last week, getting ready for the DeFrancis Dash, and what an effort he turned in. Just a win machine. Got his 15th win. I believe it was the trainer Tom Howard's first start, not only in Maryland, but the whole Mid-Atlantic area. And how about Calvin Burrell, his first greatest stakes victory since coming back out of a brief retirement. And they call him Calvin Bowrail, but what a masterful veteran ride he put on the other horse, XY Jet and Jaramillo. You know, Burrell was breaking from the 2-0, got to the outside, put that speed ball to the inside of him. Just a masterful ride and an awesome performance by a cool-looking 6-year-old Texas bred.
And the Texas bred was actually claimed, I looked it up, in March of 2014 by Tom Howard and his owner. And since then has won 11 races. The horse finally got his first graded stakes victory yesterday and has amassed, I think, $600,000 in earnings since the claim. So I would say he's got a good return on investment, but an overall great day. We saw some really sharp performances from our 2-year-olds too. I thought in the James F. Lewis Stakes, Ella Reeb has really turned a corner for trainer Cal Lynch.
Yeah, and it was interesting. The James Lewis was race 4 during the day, and it was nice out then. They went that 3/4, and yeah, what a good-looking performance that was. That's a nice 2-year-old from the Cal Lynch barn, Ella Reeb. They went that race 109.96, race 4.
That's
and
fast.
then race 9, yeah, that's some serious racehorse time for a 2-year-old. And then race 9, the grade 3 DeFrancis Dash, we had that crazy wind come about. And I'm interested, I want to talk to Keith Fustel, our odds maker here and Equibase chart caller. I want to see if the speed variant, the track variant, differed from race 4, the James Lewis, the 2-year-old race, to the Dash, because the Ivan Falanovalot, the Dash winner, he went 110.07. So just
there was a big headwind.
A big headwind. So you have to factor in that, the wind, and I want to see if the track variant changed. But an electrifying performance by both of them for sure.
It was a great day today as well. We have some nice carryovers, but wanted to take this time to mention to everybody some of the things that are going on today at Laurel Park, including the Fantasy Football Pick 7. We kind of did a mock trial last week, and the employees. It was a lot of fun, Stan, and you and I are going to take part in this once again today.
It is. You buy a program or a racing form and you get your entry. So that's it. You can buy as many programs and racing forms as you want to get as many entries as you want. It's essentially a pick 7. $2,500 is the pool. It's going to be up there on the second floor clubhouse, the new sports bar up there. They have the NFL Sunday Ticket, all the football games up there. You can do the Premier Parlay where you pick a 3-game parlay. If all 3 of your teams win, then you double your Premier player points. So go to guest services to do the Premier Parlay and go up there and buy a program, buy a racing form, and go up there to the second floor clubhouse, check out that new sports bar, watch all the football games, and yeah, dive on in here. This is going to be huge, I think, for Sunday Fun Day here at Laurel Park. Fantasy football.
Absolutely, and you can fuel up with our Sunday brunch as well. So looking forward to a Sunday Fun Day here, but looking forward to next week, Thanksgiving Day, our annual Thanksgiving Day pie giveaway. So that'll be fun. And we also, that is on, of course, Thursday, November 24th. We have a special early post time of 11:25 a.m. So come out here early. You get your free holiday pie here. Always a favorite. Stan, you're going to have to, I told you, you're going to have to get me a pumpkin pie and put it in the freezer so I can get it when I come back for Christmas.
Okay, yeah, or I was going to say I'll bring it down for the World Pegasus Championship, but no, we hope to see you back for Christmas. But then, yeah, after Thanksgiving, wake up, don't go to the mall, get out of that shop. Nobody wants to go shopping.
Yeah, guys, come grab a couple beers, play the ponies, let everybody else go Christmas shopping.
Giving away some football tickets, ski lift tickets, dining gift cards, a 48-inch flat screen TV, $3 drafts. It's always a huge day out here Friday after Thanksgiving. Now everybody's off for the weekend, kind of like a homecoming. Everybody comes home for Thanksgiving. It's kind of like
It's
a
fun.
little Maryland Million action. All the Marylanders coming out to the track. Look at that, 21,000.
Look at that. It keeps on continuing to grow. And of course, with Aqueduct canceling this afternoon due to their windy conditions, we have the third highest carryover in the nation right now. So dive on into that Rainbow Six carryover, $21,000. We also start things off in the first race with that rolling Super High Five carryover just shy of $4,500. And of course, that late pick five does start later today. In race 5, we have the early pick 5, mandatory payout on the early pick 5. But right now, it's nice and breezy. We are fast and firm on the turf. 9 races on tap, 12:30 p.m. first post. We have a lot to get to, and hopefully we don't blow out of our chairs here before the show is over. We'll get to the first race here.
I think I ran Charles in the paddock like that.
No, we get to the first race of this 9-race program, and that Super High Five carryover just shy of $4,500 as well. We also do start the pick 5, and I thought the early pick 5 was kind of tricky because there's a lot of maiden special weights in the sequence, and there's a lot of first-time starters. So looking at our carryovers, we do have a ticket here. That's a Super High Five, 15% takeout, of course, with minimum of 7 betting interests in each race. And the early pick 5, here's my ticket. Going to be using several horses. I thought this was one of the tougher maiden special weights to try to conjure because we have a couple of horses who are long-time maidens, a couple of first-time starters. So I'm spreading in the first leg, just using the 5-7 in the next leg, by 4, and keying off of the number 1 horse in the 5th race. That's a Christophe Clement shipper, and she looks like speed from the rail. So that's going to be the plan in the early pick 5, but we start things off, of course, with the first race.
I like your ticket. I like your key horse there in race 5. That's a well-bred Adina Springs filly. She gets the first-time Lasix blinkers on. I think the handle's going to be huge here today. With Aqueduct canceled, there might be some other tracks in the area, might be on the fence right now with the wind, but we're going to get the card in here today with the carryovers. I think we're going to have a huge day.
Let's hope so. We'll start things off here on the Dahlia at 1 1/8 there on the turf for this maiden special weight event. We do have a scratch of the outside horse, the number 9, True Meaning. And I just had a little bit of an opinion in this particular race on the 6 Sunrise Ruby. But Stan, how did you see this one playing out?
Well, I'm a little worried. You don't have my top pick at all, and I don't have your top pick at all. So let's see what's going on here. I like the 2, Anise, a leading rider of the meet, Javion Toledo, 39 wins. I hope he gets 40 right here in today's opener. He's on this 3-year-old filly by Gio Ponte for trainer Hammy Smith. Hammy Smith having a nice meet. He's in the top tier of the leading trainers as well. This horse has run a bunch of good races. Yes, she's an 0 for 10 maiden. She's got has a little seconditis, 5 seconds from 10 starts. So. But you're going to get value on her today. She's 8-1. You get the leading rider of the meet, Toledo. He's going to get a nice ground-saving trip riding for a barn that I like a lot. So I like the price on the 2 here, Anissa. Hopefully to break the maiden in her 11th start today.
I guess I got a little bit sour because she keeps on consistently running second. So I went in a different direction with the 6 Sunrise Ruby, and she comes out of that race behind Talk Less, Smile More, and Giovanna Blues. Of course, several of those horses come out, so it's going to be all about kind of trip handicapping and who's going to improve off of that race. But the reason why I liked Sunrise Ruby is because she had a decent maiden special weight attempt down at Tampa earlier this season against really solid horses. Involuntary, Res Ipsa, some very contentious horses kind of up in the New York circuit. Last time out, I thought she made up a lot of ground considering we had a wire-to-wire winner and she was kind of going against the grain of the track that day. So that's who I liked best out of that race, but you have to respect the entry in here. We have the 1A Sean for trainer Michael Dickinson, who kind of, you got a sneaky price with one of his winners on yesterday's card, a horse that was kind of out of form. And I see a similar scenario with this really getting blinkers on in Lasix for the first time.
Yeah, good to see Michael here yesterday, win a race on a big day, and he's pulling all the tricks out here. Blinkers on, First-time Lasix, the Hall of Famer Edgar Prado. Prado with a nice win yesterday in a stake race. So, yeah, you have to respect the entry here. Even though I don't have him in my top 4, I would use him in the early pick 5 for sure. The other part of the entry is the other Augustin stable horse trained by Clyde Martin. But you get 6-1 here on the 1A. I like the 10-1 price you're getting on your top pick there as well, Sunrise Ruby. We both like the 7 here on the outside. Stormy Alexix from the George Weaver barn. Angel Cruz aboard, and just draw a line through that last race in the mud up there at Belmont. You look at the Saratoga races, and they were pretty good. The beaten favorite up there once, but the horse that won that race would come back to win. So this horse, I think, fits this spot well. Another 0 for 10 maiden, been second 5 times, but should be right there today with Angel Cruz aboard. Angel Cruz with a nice stake win yesterday.
Yes, and I trash dogged that horse right back into winner's circle. I said, I don't know if she can do it again. Can lightning strike twice? Well, it surely did. And Angel Cruz just riding lights out here lately as well. Line Beach is one to respect, second-time starter for Arnaud Delacour. She looked a little bit weary-legged in the latter half of the stretch, kind of swapping leads late, so maybe that's a good bottom for her now in her second start. We get to the second race on the card, a nice maiden special weight once again, this time 6 furlongs on the main track, and we'll start with a replay of the 5 Lady Keswick. I thought this was a very good race. We saw Aiden's Ragdoll. That was a filly who has been consistently improving each and every start. I know she ran just okay against Stakes Company yesterday, but she had a lot of bottom underneath of her, and I can remember going and looking at the whole field warm up in the post parade last time out. And 2 fillies that really stood out to me were Aiden's Ragdoll and this first-time starter, Lady Keswick. She's just a big, sizable filly with kind of a long loping stride. And considering that was her first start, going against a horse who already had 3 prior starts, I thought it was a big performance. And I have a lot of confidence in her. I'm interested in a first-time starter, but she's definitely a must-use, maybe even a single in some people's early pick 5 tickets.
I have her on top. Dale Capuano with a couple nice 2-year-olds in his barn this year, and he's done well with them. This was an impressive debut to come with a big-time wide rally like that. Aiden's Ragdoll was a sharp winner. This horse, a nice bullet work since that, a bullet 3/8 drill here. November 15th at Laurel Park. Victor Carrasco stays aboard here. I like the 5 a lot here. We're getting a decent 7-2 price. I just hope maybe she's not too far back. You figure she probably got a lot of education from that debut race.
For sure. I was interested in a first-time starter. There are a couple of first-time starters that have interesting pedigrees. 7 Tweeting is one of them. You look at the bottom side, there's not much to build upon on the bottom side, but she is by Uncle Mo. What a season Uncle Mo is having as a sire. And overall, Tom Proctor, he does pretty well with first-time starters sprinting on the dirt, and that could give him the advantage in a field where some trainers like to give a horse a race or two, like Michael Matz. I believe, I ran a stat here, he's 1 for 53 with first-time starters sprinting on the dirt, whereas Tom Proctor, he has very good statistics. He's about 12%, but almost a positive ROI. So I went in that direction to try to beat the favorite, but I respect both of them.
Yeah, it looks like another nice Glen Hill Farm homebred here for Tom Proctor. The dam was by AP Indy. You see a bunch of nice works on the paper, including a couple bullet works. I like the outside post. You get Angel Cruz. So lots to like there for that well-bred first-time starter. I'll throw another first-time starter in there. Crab cakes, huh? Making me hungry. Maryland bread.
That is the hunch bet of the day. Crab cakes, a nice Maryland bread. I absolutely love that name. And this horse is actually, this filly is a half-2 Fish Whistler, who made about $100,000, but was okay early. And Bernie Houghton, he does a sneaky good job with his 2-year-olds.
Yeah, he's popped twice that I can remember this year. He's popped twice with nice paying first out winners, and we'll get a nice price here on this one, 10-1 morning line. Look at the ROI for his debut runners, a little over $3. So when he wins first time out, you get paid nicely. I like Great Notions. The Great Notions, they can run early. A bunch of nice works up there at Penn National. Bullet 5/8 work 2 back, and a nice work from the gate most recently. So I think a nice price here on this first-time starter at 10-1.
And we also have the 9 Ladies Privilege to the outside. She is out of the Vanquished mare, and that makes this filly a half-2. A horse by the name of Takeover Target, a 2-time Grade 2 winner going long on the turf. but the mare was a dirt sprinter, or she broke her maiden first time out on the dirt. So there's some dirt pedigree to look at, and of course you get the Harlan's Holiday pedigree too. So I like the post position for that one way to the outside, but I think that might be it's an interesting race. I think you either try to take a shot with some of those first time starters, or you just have confidence in the ability of a horse that already has one underneath her belt. But we get to the third race here on the card. 1 turn mile onto the main track for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since May 20th. And this could be another spread race, in my opinion. Stan, you land on the 1 Franz Buckaroo to the inside, a horse that I used in the early pick 5.
Yeah, I'm making my best bet of the day. 5-year-old Maryland bred back in Donovan Houghton's barn. Donovan Houghton, he's made about $200,000 with this guy. This horse 10 for 21 in the money at Laurel Park with 4 wins, 2 wins at this tricky 1 turn, 1 mile distance. I thought got back in good form last out. The second race being back in the barn of Donovan Houghton. A good second to Senor Quickie. Senor Quickie came with that late rally to get up there in the final strides. I thought it was a winning effort by Franz Buckaroo. Malcolm Franklin back in town riding today. I think this 5-year-old gets back to the winner's circle today for Donovan Houghton.
I respect him. I went with a bit of a price, so Cowboy King, make the rider Yomar Ortiz on Cowboy King. And there's not much to work off of in terms of his last 2 races, but I think they're too bad to be true. I think he can kind of build upon those because he's capable of very good races, and recently he was capable of good races, especially at Timonium, when he almost won that allowance optional claiming condition there. So I'm working off of back form, not really knowing why he went south, but these are the types of races that you want to read in between the lines. You have to look past their last performance or past 2 if you want to get a price, because these horses just go so much in and out of form. But I think one you and I both respect is definitely the 7 Finito, who had a huge performance last time out off of a pretty sizable layoff at 7 furlongs, and he looks like one that should even improve stretching out to the mile now.
Yeah, claimed by Jerry Brooks. He's about 17% first off the claim. This horse is a winner at this 1 mile distance, 2-time winner here at Laurel Park. That was a big effort coming off a long layoff. Does he bounce maybe today? He's in a new barn. We'll see. He's in good form. He gets the leading rider there, Jevion Toledo. But I might have overlooked your top pick there, the Cowboy. 6 for 7 in the money at this distance. Gets my man Yomo Ortiz at 8-1. One of those tough 7,500 beaten claimers here in race 3.
And he always has some back class, so he's an interesting one to perhaps look at. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, if we can, we'll take a look at the pick 6, a big carryover today, right after this.
Okay, all right.
And that was yesterday's
January
rendition
28th
of
at Gulf
the
Street Park.
Francis Dash, and very impressive performance by Ivan falling off a lot. But now we turn our attention to the pick 6 today, and we have a very nice carryover of over $21,000. I have a pick 6 ticket. You have a pick 6 ticket. We'll start with my pick 6 ticket, and we'll see how it goes. Actually,
we need to get you a big score.
yeah, I need some traveling money.
You're going down to Gulfstream this week for the big championship meet. Your last day up here. Let's go out with a bang here. Try to take this pick 6 down.
All right, here's the sequence for me. Going to be using 4 horses in the first leg, using 1-9 in race 5, including that Christophe Clement. Second time starter, using 3 in race 6, 3 in race 7, singling on Svindal later today. And I know that's kind of a bold single. It's a wide open field, but I know I like him. I think you like him. And then I'm going to be able to spread in the final leg. It's a maiden claiming event. $57.60 is the ticket. Stan, let's see yours.
All right, well, I'm excited for today's pick 6. I think it's going to be a huge pull. It's a little over 21,000. I think they're going to dump a bunch of money into it today. I'll go 5 deep here in race 4. It's a tough maidens, but we got a bunch of nice, some of the nicest maiden special weights in the country right here today at Laurel. So I'll go 5 deep here in race 4, going 4 deep there in race 5. My single is going to come in race 6. That's an open 15,000 going a mile on the grass. I'm going to key on the 1, Slip and Drive, 5-1 from the Mac Robertson barn. Mac Robertson with a couple wins, I believe, Friday here at Laurel Park. Centron with a nice day yesterday. So I'll key on the 1, Slip and Drive there in race 6. Just going 2 deep there in race 7, then 4 deep in race 8, 2 deep there in race 9. A nice affordable $64 play. I think it's going to be 30. I think it's going to definitely at least be over 30,000 a day. Maybe with the aqueduct being out, it could be
Could be more.
upwards of 40,000
Yeah.
in that pick 6 today.
I think we'll get a good idea how they're going to play the pick 6 when we start looking at how they play the early pick 5 and
Yep.
other earlier wagers on the card. But we start the sequence off on the all-along turf course at 5.5 furlongs. And we started off with a maiden special weight. That is kind of tough. There are probably a couple of ways to go, but I know you like one particular horse, the number 9, Discreet Deceit, to the outside, and we'll show this filly's replay. This was 2 starts back. Last time out she ran on the dirt, and I thought a good performance behind Aiden's Ragdoll. Lady Keswick, a horse we'll see earlier on today's card. The blinkers go on this filly, and she comes back to the turf. I think maybe a more preferred surface. And Stan, she was beaten by a very nice Grand Motion runner and full of zip who had a beautiful pedigree. And Discreet Deceit, she just seems like a very versatile and consistent filly.
Yeah, she has the experience. 2-year-old filly. She's run 3 times already. This was a good second here. She lugged in a little bit in the stretch race of this in this race. Yeah, maybe they got in some trouble at the half-mile pole. Steady there, so maybe that took some wind out of her. But Ollie Figgins puts the blinkers on today. Steve Hamilton stays aboard here for the 4th start. I like the outside post. She's kind of a stalking filly. Stalking filly comes from off the pace. Maybe she's not. Maybe the blinkers on today quickens her up a little bit early on, where she's not so far back today. That's what I'm banking on. The blinkers on here. I like the 6-1 price, and I like the outside post with Steve Hamilton.
And she didn't do anything really quirky last time out, so maybe she just really improved from a mental standpoint on the dirt last time out, and we won't see her kind of doing that little turn into the rail like we did in her turf start most recently. So I do like her, but looking at some others, the 7 Irish Fix, and she has sneaky good races. I love this horse today because she's going to get overlooked, but you get Trevor McCarthy, you get Grand Motion. They thought enough of her to start her at Saratoga against Maiden Special Weight Company. She showed speed that day, so that just goes to show you how fast this filly is, probably naturally. Just discount her race on the dirt. She is Patio Prado. She's got a nice turf pedigree. Last time out, she was pressing the leader. She was ready to go. It looked like she was even going to win the race, and unfortunately the filly to her inside at the quarter pole bolted way outside to the outside rail and just, as you can see, eliminated at the quarter pole. So that's kind of the backstory behind her last race, but she looks like she's got some raw talent, and she will be overlooked because of her dirt race and because of the mishap last time out.
Well, I like the price here, 12-1 with Trevor McCarthy, Grand Motion. That's a good deal. And that debut up at Saratoga, that was the horse had to break from the rail, sprinting on the turf. That's a tough assignment. So that's a nice price you have there. I'm not gonna, I can't disagree there too much. Maybe I might have to throw another one into my pick 6. But there's some horses. It's a tough maiden special weight because you have a bunch of nice horses, horses that first-time starters, horses that have run already. The 2 Storm and Babe down there on the inside. I'm not crazy about the post position. Victor Carrasco was aboard last time. He stays aboard today. A good second at this level last time. Just missed. Got beat a whisker. A strong 64 buyer in there. A couple good works since then. Has enough early speed to maybe get good position going into that far turn.
And of course, the 4 Feeling Foxy, a first-time starter by City Zip out of a Pleasant Tap mare. This filly is kin to a horse by the name of Hip Hop and Jazz. We were well familiar. I think that is also a Glen Hill farm for Tom Proctor. She won her first 2 races and went on to become Grade 3 placed as well. The mare won the Grade 3 Arlington Matron, so there's some nice pedigree on that filly too. As we turn our attention to the 5th race, of course, this kicks off the late pick 5, another maiden special weight, a mile on the main track. You took a look at the late pick 5?
Yep, I'm going to take a stab here at the late pick 5. Yeah, common theme here today. Tough maiden special weights, and the late pick 5 starts with a maiden special weight. No carryover today. They hit it yesterday, but we always have that industry low 12% takeout. $32 ticket for me here. I'll go 4 deep in race 5, singling there on the 1, slip and drive at 5-1 there in race 6, and then spreading in the last 3 races. So I think it's going to be a strong handle in today's late pick 5, starting race 5, a tough one on the main track going a mile.
And it could be tough, or it could just go right through the 1 set to dance to the inside, because this Christophe Clement filly faced a very tough field. First time out, the winner Fellini paid 15 cents to the dollar when she won by 11 lengths. That was a second-time starter. She was coming out of a maiden special weight at Saratoga, and a filly with a lot of good pedigree. But this one too has some excellent pedigree, and should love the added distance. Look at that, the distorted humor out of an APND mare. And she had a little bit of speed in her first start, and I think now with the stretch out to a mile, and given the fact that she has the rail post position, Lasix, and blinkers on, she might just go from the rail and say, everybody take back going into the turn. Let me lead you to the finish line.
Yeah, well-bred house horse here for Christophe Clement, Stronach Stable. If we can get 8-5, that'd be nice. She'll probably get hammered, go, you know, 6-5, even money or something. But all the money probably will be on that horse. She's the filly to beat. The first time Lasix blinkers on, but I'll go with the 8, 7-2. I like the price here better on this 4-year-old filly by Tisnow, trained by Mary Appler, one of the top trainers. Victor Carrasco aboard, and Carrasco's aboard last time. A good second in the slot back on October 1st here at Laurel Park. Had a tough trip that day. Alpine Sky, who won the race, would come back to win. So I'll go with the 4-year-old on top at 7-2.
Okay, we also took a look at the 9 Snow Queen, who just looks like she will improve and with added distance. She could potentially stalk the pace, but I liked her closing bid last time out at shorter, and it's one of my favorite angles here. The stud fee there, $7,500 for Colonel John. They paid $40,000 for her at the sale, so must be a good looker. We'll take a look at that field later on today to kick off the late pick 5, excuse me. We get to the 6th race on the card on the Dahlia, going the flat mile for this open $15,000 claiming event, and you have the 1 Slip and Drive not only as your top selection, but you're single in the pick 6 and pick 5.
Yep, I'll single on him 5-1 here. So I like the price on this Mac Robertson 8-year-old who's made almost $400,000. He's a 7-time winner on the turf. He's done all his running on the turf. Alex Centron, a big day yesterday. Slip and Drive, already a 2-time winner on the grass at Laurel Park. Last October, I know it was a long time ago, a little over a year ago, but that win here at Laurel Park against a very, very tough upper-level allowance field was very impressive. A strong 88 buyer with that win. That was his last win. Now today he's running second off the layoff. His last race up there at the Meadowlands. That was his first start since down there at the fairgrounds in last February. He's been running some strong 80-plus buyers. I think will improve today. Second off the layoff for a barn that's doing well. They're about 17% here. Second off the layoff. Centron should get a nice trip from the inside.
Okay, I went to the 6 Foxhall Drive. I'm going to be using a couple horses in the pick 6 in this race, though. Foxhall Drive for Jamie Ness does take a big drop in class from Allowance Company last time out, and his performances, a lot of the time they do step him up to Allowance Company, and he always has a good showing. He's beaten about a length or so and probably finishes into some exotics, but when they drop him in for the right level, that open $16,000 condition at Monmouth 2 starts back, he won in a big way. He stalked and closed that day. Excuse me, I'm a little distracted. I should have put my hair up today. And even prior to that, even on the dirt when he faced open $20,000 company, he won that race in a big way. So I just think this is the appropriate condition for him. Stan, you and I both also used the 4 Arctic North in here, who was defeated last time out, but I thought for the level that race came up pretty tough, as we saw Music Critic come back to win and his subsequent start as well. And Arctic North, he's just been kind of a main contender in this condition for the past couple of weeks now.
Yep, you're right. 3 strong efforts here at Laurel Park. That initial drop to 75 back in September is, we had some question marks. How's this horse doing? But that was a strong win that day, and ran a winning effort, getting beat there second in early October, and decent 4th last out. He'll be right there. Nice old classy 7-year-old with Fergal Lynch aboard today. It's a good 6-1 price on a horse that should be right there.
All right, race 7 kicks off the final pick 3 of the day. 6 furlongs on the main track for this $5,000 claiming event. And I go to the outside, the 9, Flying to Becholders for Gary Capuano. And I think this is the type of race where you have to kind of hunt and peck. I think you have to respect the 2 horses to the outside, but I went to the 9 in here just given the statistics, the astounding statistics for Gary Capuano going from turf to dirt. This horse has some back class on the dirt. He is a winner on the dirt in the past, and I think he was running races that would be comparable to winning against this type of field. And talking about those stats, turf to dirt angle for Gary Capuano, 31% and almost a $4 ROI.
That's some strong numbers. The barn going well. He's one of the he's in the top 5 leading trainers here. In good form on the turf, and some tough turf races. This is an easier race, no matter what they're running on. This is a class relief for him today. He has one on the dirt. Kevin Gomez aboard. He'll get a nice stalking trip, I think, from the outside. I respect him. I use him third. I'll go with the 2 outside horses, 1-2 here. 13 Joe Tess and the 14 Showtime. I think both of them getting a big drop here to this beaten nickel condition today. Hugh McMahon, the barn's red hot. Angel Rodriguez, he's on the 13 Joe Tess, dropping from that 75 starter last out. He didn't run very well in that race at all, but the race 2 back that was on the turf, a good second that day, and even the race 3 back in the mud against Open 11, a much tougher race than this, a good third that day. So I think a huge drop here on the 13 Joe Tess and the 14 Showtime, who's an 8-time winner here at Laurel Park.
And Joe Tess has some speed. He kind of lost it last time out. I don't know where it went. They didn't go that fast for 6 furlongs, but hopefully with the drop in class, he does get back to that speed, because he's going to have to kind of use it from that outside post position. But kind of a fun race intermingled there between the pick 6 and the late pick 5 as we get to the 8th race, the feature race of the day, and this does the first half of the late daily double on this 9-race program on the all-along turf course at 5.5 furlong. Starter optional claiming is the condition, and we'll take a look a few starts back at Svindal's performance. This was actually in April of this year when he kind of ran a hole in the wind, closing from off of the pace. He was 8 lengths off of it at one point, and then he picked up the pieces to win by over 2 lengths that day. Now, where has he been since? He took some time off, came back in August with a subpar performance, but that was over a good going. And last time out, he ran on the dirt. Hugh McMahon, how good is he? First off the claim with his turf sprinters.
Yeah, I like this horse. I've liked this horse for a while. I guess maybe my only concern, he's a little freshening coming into this race first off the claim, but Hugh McMahon very good with that move and a sharp bullet work from the gate November 17th, a 3-8 work, 36 flat. So it looks like he's sitting on go, ready to go. Fergal Lynch back aboard today. I'll use him second. I'm going to go with the 9 on top here, back to Seattle. Just looks like he's turned in 2 very, very good races since getting into the new barn here. Trainer Phil Schoenthal, a second 2 back, and then a nice win last out. He's paired up a couple 66 buyers. Steve Hamilton will be aboard. I think they'll get a nice stalking trip from the outside. It's a nice 4-1 price. This horse already 2 for 2 on the grass here at Laurel Park. So I'll go with the 9 back to Seattle. Hope he keeps his sharp form here today.
And this horse, it was obviously acquired by Phil Schoenthal back in mid-October, and we often see Phil Schoenthal do such great work with these types of horses and kind of turning them back or putting them on the turf. He's so good with his acquisitions or claims sprinting, whether it's on the dirt or turf. So onwards and upwards potentially for this horse too. The 6 Saturday Sunshine, I just really like the cutback in distance for this Gary Capuano trainee, and has some speed. If he can run anywhere near where he did when he won that non-winners of 2 lifetime condition when he went wire to wire, I think he could be a main factor in here. So I went with this race thinking that I had a strong opinion on Svindal, just given how well the barn is doing, Hugh McMahon barn, and how well they do with their turf sprinters. So going to be keen off of him in the pick 6. You have to have an opinion in the pick 6 and somewhere. You keyed off of Slip and Drive earlier.
I like it. We both have 5-1 key horses, and that's the kind of key horses you need to have to be the only ticket to take this thing down.
Exactly. We get to the 9th and final race on the card here. 6 furlongs on the main track, maiden $25,000 event, and just scratched the 6 in here, Wazala and the 12 Late Night Kiss. This is a bit of a mad scramble. We have the 4 Holiday Magician, who is kind of just making that lateral move. A couple others are coming out of that race, including La Bamba too, but you have a little bit of a preference for this filly.
Well, I'll just go with the 2 hot barns. Mike Trombetta here with the 4, Lacey Gaudette with the 9, Holiday Magician by Harlan's Holiday. Louis Garcia stays aboard, and this horse is kind of woken up since they put the blinkers on and put Louis Garcia back on. 2 very strong efforts. A good third at maiden maiden 40, and then just got beat last out at this level, going 5.5 furlongs, coming with a wide rally. So the extra half a furlong today, the barn going very well. I like the 5-1 price here we're getting on Holiday Magician.
I'm going with a long shot here, and that's the 10, My Chessa Charm, just because she is getting a tremendous class relief. We saw some of those fillies just run lights out both those times. Riley's Choice, of course, the filly out of Shared Account, trained by Horacio de Paz and Sagamore. She went wire to wire in that race. Nobody was really picking up the pieces from there, so I thought it was kind of unfortunate for this filly to just kind of chase that pace. And then in her next start, I know she was well beaten as well. She was down on the inside, big drop in class against horses who have already been exposed against this level, and the blinkers go on. So I would imagine she's going to show some speed to the outside, maybe press the pace.
Yeah, biggest drop in horse racing. Maiden special weight in for a tag, and she runs for a tag first time today. Blinkers on. Robin Graham 1 for 4 with a positive ROI, making this move. So I don't have the horse. I'm going to hope the two favorites here show up today. I'll go with the 9, La La Bamba, in the exacta, Victor Carrasco. And this is a well-bred 2-year-old filly by Patio Prado out of a Not for Love mare. Good to see her finally wake up and run a strong race last out. Was the favorite that day, but didn't break too well. But little Bobble had to come with a wide rally. Still a good third. Now she's right back in at this level. You get Victor Carrasco on the 9 here. La La Bamba at 5-1.
And I'm going to use this angle one last time on the last race of the day, and that is the 1132 Degrees here, trained by Gina Rosenthal, first time starter with Brian Pedroza in the saddle. And once again, this 2-year-old filly is by Icebach, who stands for $7,500 stud fee and was sold for $28,000 at the OBS sale. So someone was probably impressed with the workout that she showed in August, and bought her for a decent penny here. I know she did debut for $25,000, but Gina Rosenthal, she can be sneaky good with some of her 2-year-olds. So draws a nice outside post position, given that she's a first-time starter, especially going 6 furlongs. So sometimes you have to cover yourself with some of these first-time starters and these maiden claimers. Sometimes you just gotta go with those who have a little bit of experience.
Yep, and I'm gonna have to redo my some of my picks here. Late scratch in race 9. The 6 Wazala is scratched there, race 9.
Okay, and that is a wrap for us here on Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. It's a blustery, windy fall day, but we hope you come out and join us here on Sunday Fun Day. Of course, we have that NFL Sunday ticket. We've got the Fantasy Football Challenge going on today. We've got brunch. We've got horse racing. We've got everything you could possibly ask for.
Huge handle, I think, today. New York is canceled. We're running. Nice carryover. 3rd largest Rainbow Pick 6 carryover in the country. A little over 21,000. Starts in race 4.
Well, we hope you join us here on this Sunday afternoon, and best of luck on today's card.